This is Hot Take Tuesday, episode 2, and today we're going through every hot take from my Discord, giving you my opinion on them, putting them on a scale from ice cold to piping hot. Piping hot meaning less likely to happen, ice cold meaning most likely to happen. So, kind of a little scale there that I like to use when rating my subscribers' bold predictions, their hot takes. A lot of fun doing it. It gets a way for the community to get involved in the channel and the videos, which I greatly appreciate all of you. So let's get right into it. So the first hot take we have here is by Silver Sabs. His hot take is Eagles and Saints win their respective divisions. Eagles, I can see. I can see the Eagles winning the division. I could see them beating the Cowboys once. I could see them splitting with that whole division. Honestly, that's just a division where I can feel the whole division splits. I can maybe see the Eagles, honestly, maybe sweeping Washington, maybe sweeping New York. I think it's more likely they sweep New York. Nonetheless, this Eagles team has a good shot. Even if Hurts doesn't take a huge step forward, that Dallas Cowboys team is the other team that is really going to compete for that spot. Maybe the Commanders do somehow. Not sure how I feel about that roster. I want to see that roster on the field before I give my true opinion on them, just like any other team, but you don't know much about them. Dallas, I think they're going to take a step back, and I think the Eagles are going to take a step forward in the preseason or in the regular season. Now, do I think the Eagles are going to make it past the wild card or divisional? Probably not. I don't see them winning more than one playoff game because when you have a quarterback like Jalen Hurts who struggles to throw the ball, struggles to get the ball through the air, unless he makes a huge, gigantic leap this year in passing the ball and just somehow finds a way to change the mindset a little bit. I don't see this team winning more than one playoff game. It has been proven over and over again. These quarterbacks that like to run a lot, like Lamar, Kyler, now Jalen Hurts. These running backs I just call them running backs. I'm so sorry, but these quarterbacks that lead their team don't normally get them past one playoff win. Don't normally get one playoff win to begin with. So a little interesting there. I could see them winning. So I'm gonna say cool for that one because I think the Eagles should be favorites to win this division in my opinion. I'm gonna say cool, which is kind of like before cold, kind of like before warm. So I think it's possible. I'm not saying it's definitely gonna happen, but I'm saying it's definitely possible. I don't think this is really a hot take. I think this is really a realistic thought, but the other half of that was if the Saints could win their division. I don't think so. I think I think the Bucs are too good. I think the Bucs are going to be fine. I honestly think the Bucs are going to strike the Saints this year. I think they're finally going to beat them at least once. The Saints have had their number big time, but I think that's going to change this year. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think the Bucs are going to I don't think they're going to have a problem, having Jameis Winston back. Yeah, they have a little more weapons. They are even better than last year, but I think the Bucs get it figured out, and they want their revenge. So I think that's what's going to happen. And I don't see the Bucs losing this division unless Tom Brady isn't there. As long as Tom Brady's there, I don't see them losing the division. They got Mike Evans. Ryan Jensen's center is out. That is a huge loss. But nonetheless, I like this Bucs team a lot more. They're much more complete. They have the greatest quarterback, the greatest player of all time. So I don't see the Saints winning the division. So I'm going to say that one is I'm going to give that one hot. I'm going to give that one hot because I just think the Bucs are the best team, best coach team, especially with Sean Payton stepping down. Jameis Winston is going to get another coach. Dennis Kelly, I'm pretty sure the coach is, but Dennis Kelly is not like Sean Payton. So I guess we'll see how that goes. It's a whole new system. Team has to learn a whole new system, playbook. It usually takes a little while to get accustomed to get used to. So I don't see the Saints really winning that division. I'm gonna give that one hot. I'm not gonna go piping hot because it's somewhat possible. Anything's possible, but I think it's very unlikely that the Saints even compete with the Bucs for number one spot in that division for the division crown. So then we have from Knight. He has 2 here today. So he goes, y'all underrating the Falcons, man. They're the best team in the NFL. So he said the Falcons are the best team in the NFL. That is piping hot. Not going to spend too much time on this one. Falcons are in rebuild mode. You know, they're going to start, you know, they have to start hitting in some drafts. They just traded Matt Ryan, which kind of confirmed that. I know he's joking, but yeah, I'm giving this one piping hot, not spending too much time on this one. So, then we have the next one by Red Panda. He says that the Colts roster is greater than the Bengals roster. I think this is a fair comparison. I think this is a good comparison. Now, the Colts have a better O-line. The Colts have better running backs. Tight ends, it's pretty close, but I'm going to take the Colts tight ends over the Bengals. Wide receivers, Bengals take that by far. It's not even close. Defensive side, I take the Colts cornerbacks. Safeties, when healthy, I'd probably take they have Jesse Bates, so I think Bates actually gives them the nod best safety in the league, in my opinion, if not the best. Linebackers, Colts kill them with linebackers. Defensive line, the Colts are better at the defensive line. I think the Colts have a much better roster, a much more sound roster than the Bengals. The Bengals just have a very savvy, very good quarterback. So, you know, that's important there. We're going to see what's going to happen when Joe Burrow is going to have to be paid, because this Bengals team, this Bengals franchise has not been a franchise to go out and just pay their players and pay their big-time players big-time money. They've been very cheap. So I want to see them pay him, you know, but I think this one is cold. No, I'm going to go cool. I'm going to go cool because it's not crazy much better. Like, there are spots where each team wins, but the Colts have them beaten almost every one. Maybe except for safety and quarter. Oh, no. They have them beaten quarterback too. So, wide receivers, quarterback, and safety. The rest the Colts have, but those are some pretty important positions that the Bengals have, right? It's not like they don't have a good defensive line. They have a good defensive line, but this Colts roster is just more technically sound. There's a lot more, so I'm gonna say cool. I'm not gonna say cold because there is some spots where they can flip flop, but that's my opinion on that hot take. So, hot take from Big Boy Flex. He said, Giants win division. I'm going to go hot. I'm going to go piping hot on this one. Yeah, I'm going to go piping hot. I just don't have much confidence in this Giants team. I know you don't want to hear this, Flex, but I'm not a fan of the Giants. The O-line is getting better. Running backs are good if they stay healthy. They have a good wide receiver core. I like the tight ends. I think it's Bellinger from Wisconsin. I like that tight end. And they have a few playmakers around that team. Daniel Jones is my issue. If Tyrod Taylor plays the full season with that offense, I could see them maybe competing for the division. I don't like Daniel Jones. I don't see Daniel Jones doing it. Daniel Jones is not the answer. I've had many Giants fans telling me that they think Daniel Jones has more. I don't care. I don't see it in Daniel Jones. If you want a quarterback that's going to take you to the Super Bowl, you can't try and build around a guy and expect him to be better. No, you can't do that. I get it. Supporting cast makes a difference. But you want a guy that can elevate the team. Daniel Jones has not elevated that team in any way at all. Even though they're one of the worst rosters for quite some time. Daniel Jones didn't elevate it at all. So you want a quarterback that can at least elevate a little bit. Daniel Jones doesn't have the ability to. Tyrod Taylor does a little bit. I think he has more than Daniel Jones anyways. So if Tyrod Taylor starts, I'm going to go middle. I'm going to go warm. I think warm is fair. Daniel Jones starts, I'm going hot, piping hot. I don't like Daniel Jones at all. I don't think Jones is going to do anything. Honestly, I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think they're going anywhere with him. Yeah, he's a good leader. He's a locker room guy, but he's not it. He can't get it done in the field, so it's all for naught, unfortunately. Defense. We got a defensive line. Corners, I'm not crazy about the corners. I like Darnay Holmes. Safeties are solid, though. Linebackers, not crazy about the linebackers. It's just Dallas. Dallas roster is much more complete. The Phillies roster is more the Eagles roster is more complete. But if Tyrod Taylor starts with the firepower, if Barkley stays healthy, and that offensive line is going to take a few weeks for that offensive line to gel together. It takes a few weeks for a new offensive line to gel together. There are some new pieces on there. Neal, Glow. It takes time for an offensive line to get accustomed to each other. So I think it's going to take a few weeks for that to happen. But I think, Dallas and Philly are both better. But there's a case where I can see Tyrod Taylor and this offense just alone, and the defensive line alone, being able to get something done in this division. Maybe I could honestly see a scenario where Tyrod comes in and they fight for a wild card. I can see that. With how weak the NFC is, I can see it. I'm not crazy about the NFC. There's wide open. Outside of the Packers, we know the Packers are going to make it. The Bucs, the Rams. Outside of that, yeah, there's not much. Maybe the Vikings you could throw in there, but they still have to prove on defense. But Giants win the division. You heard it. We're going to move on to the next hot take. And the next hot take is Dallas is overrated. So you look at Dallas's roster, right? You see they have Dak. I think Dak is solid. I think he's okay. I think he's a little better than Kirk Cousins. That's where I put Dak. I think he's a little better than Kirk. He's just too inconsistent. Hasn't shown up in big moments, big games versus big-time teams. Wide receivers are solid. I like CeeDee Lamb. I like Gallup. They did lose Cooper and Wilson, but they have some other solid wide receivers in that room. Tight end, solid. Running back room, very good running back room with Zeke. Zeke is consistent. As much as Zeke hasn't been the greatest running back, fumbling and that kind of stuff, he's consistent. He's a very consistent back. Tony Pollard, he's a good back. I think Pollard has a chance to maybe one of these years take over for Zeke. Look at the defense. The defensive line is good. It's not too bad. Cornerbacks, you got Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs is okay. Gets beat a lot. Doesn't let up a lot of yards. Also gets a lot of interceptions. So that helps with the yards. He's an aggressive cornerback. That's a type of cornerback he is. Safeties, I don't see much at safety. Then you have in defensive line or linebacker / defensive line. You have what's his name? Michael Parsons. So Dallas overrated. I think a lot of people are expecting Dallas to drop off from last year. I think a lot of people are realizing, except for Cowboys fans, I think a lot of people are seeing that they're going to take a step back. They're going to decline a little bit from last year. Not like they were even anything crazy special last year, So Cowboys overrated. I'm going to say that's warm. I don't think they're overrated. I don't really think they're getting hyped up, except by Cowboys fans. But I also think that this roster is a little overrated at the same time. So, let's see. I think that's it for Hot Take Tuesday. And that is it. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan's welcome. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Hot Take Tuesday. And if you did, make sure to like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on so sending future videos. This is JDW Sports Talk Show, signing off.